A peppery, spicy and aromatic pork salad where we embrace the less desirable cuts. This is my take on a Northern-style Laab salad. Hi guys, welcome back to Wok Wednesdays. Chef Ian here from the School of Wok in London's Covent Garden. Today we are going to be making a Northern Thai-style Laab salad with some pig intestine and some liver as well. The first thing we need to do with our intestines is to give it a really thorough clean, and that is going to happen in 3 stages. The first stage, we're going to rinse it with water, both inside and out. This is to remove any dirt or anything that's in the intestines. Next, we are going to rub it with some cornstarch and a bit of salt. And the idea here is that this will remove the slime and help you to start to remove any of the excess fat on the intestines as well. And then finally, what we're going to do is give it a bath in some vinegar. And what this will do is help to minimize the aroma, the irony smell that can come from the intestines. And then we're going to repeat the same process again, only this time with the liver. Okay, and once we've got those cleaned and prepared and ready to go, we are going to cook them. So what I'm going to do first is just really quickly blanch off my liver. So we've got some boiling water here, and to it I'm going to add some spring onion and some ginger. And again, these aromatics will just help to remove any of that kind of really strong irony flavour. What we're going to do is just drop our liver into the pot, and really quickly, like a minute here, we're just going to cook it. After about a minute, our liver is ready to come out. I'm going to drain that off. Okay, and this is going to get chopped up and cooked again at the end. So we definitely don't want to overcook it now and dry it out. And then in the same liquid, we're going to add our intestine. This takes much longer. This we're going to leave to bubble away for about an hour until it goes really tender. So this salad, a larb, you may be more familiar with the kind of central and southern style larb with the lime and the toasted rice powder. This one is slightly different. The flavour is much different. It hasn't got that kind of citrusiness, but it's got a much more kind of like spicy, peppery flavour to it. The idea of the liver and the intestines is that larb is the kind of dish that would have been eaten during a celebration. So maybe a whole animal has been slaughtered, and larb is a way of taking the bits, the intestine, the liver, and turning them into something that's really delicious. And of course, you could just make this salad with just the minced pork if you like. You don't have to add these things in. But I do think they add a really interesting flavour and texture to the salad, which takes it to a whole new level. Okay, so now we're going to build a spice paste to flavour our larb. We're going to start with some chilies. So I've got about 4 dried chilies here, and I'm just going to de-seed them. Easiest way to de-seed them is just to cut the top, and the seeds should come right out. Obviously, it's best to do this when they're still dried. We're just going to peel a little bit of garlic, and we're going to leave it whole. And what we're going to do is actually dry toast these ingredients, char them slightly, and that's really going to bring out that kind of smoky, sweet depth of flavour that we want into our dish. Next, a few Thai shallots. So these just need peeling. A little bit fiddly. And I like to just cut them in half, and then you can remove the peel fairly sort of easily here. If you have lots of these, you can soak them in boiling water as well, and that will make them much easier to peel. And finally, we've got a little bit of our galangal. So anytime you've got something around like this, you can just start by taking a little bit off so that it sits nice and firmly. And we're just going to cut this into some strips, and then through into some matchstick pieces. And the galangal is going to have the most amazing kind of sweet, fruity flavour when it gets toasted. Okay, and a couple of other ingredients to show you here. So this one you'll be fairly familiar with. This is Sichuan peppercorn. Okay, whole Sichuan peppercorn. This one you might not be so familiar with. This is called Indian long pepper. And the Indian long pepper has a really kind of distinctive peppery but kind of floral flavour to it. Very different to the Sichuan pepper, which has that kind of numbing sensation in the mouth. So if you can find this, you can find it online. I highly recommend it. But if not, you could just add a bit more Sichuan pepper to compensate. Any good Laab salad should be served with some really fresh, crunchy vegetables. We've got some romaine lettuce here, and we're going to add some cucumber. And if you want to just make your cucumber look that little bit more fancy, what we do is just take one strip from the cucumber, quarter turn and repeat, quarter turn and repeat, quarter turn and repeat. And then when we slice it now on a kind of bias, you get these pieces with a nice kind of tigery pattern on the side. Okay, so that's our veggies ready to serve. And then finally, I'm just going to take that liver that we've already prepared and just chop that up as well. Just sort of nice and fine here. I'm going to mix it with our pork mince. And so we've got our intestines as well. So our intestines finished cooking. And when it's done, we just slice it into some thin rings with some scissors. That can go in with our liver. So let's toast these off now. So dry frying pan over a nice high heat. Start with our chilies. And we really want to let these get a little bit of char on them. You can see here we've got a nice bit of char on either side of that chili. It's going to go into our water to soak. And just a little bit of kitchen paper over the top there will help them soak more evenly. While we're doing that, let's go in with our shallots, our garlic and our galangal. And again, we're going to toast and we're going to char. Once you've got some really good char on these vegetables, we are going to get them out. And the last thing we need to do is just toast off our long pepper and our Sichuan peppercorns. Just be careful not to kind of burn these. Keep your pan moving. So we put our peppercorns and our long pepper into our mortar, and we're going to make a rough powder with our grinding motion. Okay, and now in with your shallots, your garlic and your galangal. And we're going to switch now to a pounding motion. Okay, we're going to pound this down for about 5 minutes or so. And we'll add our chilies in as well. And we're going to pound this for about 5 minutes until we have a really kind of rough paste. It doesn't need to be as smooth and perfect as if we're making a curry here. But we want to get everything nicely mixed together. Okay, guys, doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, but we've got a nice pasty consistency here. We've got a pan here, medium-high heat. We're going to go in with some oil. And we're going to go straight in with our paste. And this all happens very quickly. We'll just fry for 30 seconds. And we're going to go straight in with our pork mince. Now, for the mince, it's best to use a high fat content mince. So mince that's got about 20% fat in it. More fat equals more flavour. So the mince is going to go in. We're just going to fry this off now in the oil and the paste. And you can just break that mince up a little bit. So we're still on a medium-high heat here. We want a couple of minutes here just to make sure the pork is cooked through. And we want it to just start to kind of caramelize and catch a little bit on the bottom of the pan. And I'm just trying to evenly mix that paste as well throughout the dish. Okay, so now that my pork is pretty much cooked through, I'm going to go in with my liver and my intestines as well. And we're going to add some seasoning. About a tablespoon of fish sauce is going to go in. And a teaspoon of palm sugar. And we want to mix that palm sugar through. It's going to help just to caramelize. I might just turn the heat up slightly just for the last 30 seconds of cooking. Okay, and that's our larb finished. So we're going to serve this up. And this would work really well as a starter or a side dish. And that is it, our Northern style larb. This looks absolutely incredible. It smells delicious. Let's have a try. So the way we eat this is we take a little bit of our vegetable and we add our meat mix to it and we tuck in. Yeah, so that is fantastic. So we've got the spicy, smoky, peppery flavor from the paste. We've got that little bit of saltiness from the fish sauce and sweetness from the palm sugar. But what makes this dish really interesting is the different textures that are at play there with the liver and with the intestines. It's very different. If you're a big fan of the southern style or the central style with the lime and the rice powder, it's a very different flavor. It's much more spicy and earthy. But for me, I really love that. It reminds me exactly of my time in Thailand. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to like, subscribe, and to share. And we will see you next week on What Wednesday.